Hello, Collective. Welcome to a timeless, love-variant reading of yours, where we discuss however love may be absent or present in your life, and however love may be unconditional or conditional for you. Bear in mind that these messages are collective insight messages. You and I have not decided to connect on a personal one-to-one basis. So utilize your discernment to take all of the bits and pieces that apply to you and anything that does not leave it behind with the reading. Alright, a few things as I get ready for the reading is that I am 7th, aka Master 7th. I reads these energies for you. If you'd like a little bit more detail as to who and what I am, there can be a link found in the description box below. A little bit of clarity is that I am a master healer that provides remote wellness wherever you are, wherever you may reside or be, and tarot intuitive insights such as this. Keep in mind that in the description box there is an onslaught of information, some of which on how to connect with me and others on how to travel between two of my channels that I have separated for your viewing pleasures. Alright. Lastly, remember that feminine and masculine energies are non-gender specific. However, feminine energies, well, femininity encapsulates masculine and feminine energies, and masculinity encapsulates both feminine and masculine energies as well. There seems to be a desire to come to an agreement. Whether that agreement is individual or in a requirement due to the fact of being in connection with someone in the third dimension. If you're an individual, the terms and agreements that you are an individual, meaning single. If you are single, then your terms and agreements that might need to take place are the ones where you can show up to the things that are necessary to show up to on a step-by-step basis, on a day-to-day basis, on a slower routine, turning back the hands of time of maybe anxiety, and any concerns that are outside of the present moment. Okay, so even if that present moment means there are anxieties out that require attention or are outside of being able to find an answer currently in this moment of now, whether that now is in this second, in the hour, in the day, it's the present moment that matters most. And those are the subtle terms and agreements that one is learning how to adapt to, manage for themselves. And that will more or less teach you a different take on not only coping mechanisms and skills, but maybe also different ways to engage within the day. And more or less concerning yourself with those things rather than staying in the mystery of uncontrollable outcomes. Whereas if you are someone who is in a committed interaction with another person, the terms and agreements that are possibly in need to negate and finite are the ones where if you're at distance, to how to bridge the gap and being together, maybe taking the relationship from wherever it is to a next step of an agreement, a loyalty, a different date, a new adventures, rekindling, refinding a way to pay attention to one another. there's a difference between the people that are in a sort of relationship. This distance is ego-based and responsibility-based. This difference or separation is also trauma-based. But again, when I say it's individual-based, it includes many variables, including maybe traumas of any kind, okay, or desires of any kind, anything having to do with that individual. Okay, and each individual have their own separate form of inner battles and inner accomplishments. Yet they're both also at the same time very eager to focus on making and keeping the connection and rekindling a form of themselves, which will more or less also rely on individual perspective change, which may require the word healing in order to gain that perspective change. Okay, but each are interested to take a bit more of a raw, authentic viewpoint about themselves and the connection at hand. For those of you who are single and mirror this energy, you are intrigued with the relationships you do have with anyone outside of yourself. This could be your roommates, your housemates, your family, any specific role in the family, born into family, neighbors, a stranger, someone of a certain community, like someone outside of you, anyone, all right? And you are enriching yourself with what it means to be authentic and raw for yourself and honest with the outer version and inner versions of you and the things that concern you and the things that may concern others due to your interaction with them, you know? So, I like how I say, you know? I don't know if you know. You get it? Make sense? This connection, although there might be elements of immaturity, is mature, meaning the connection that you're discovering for yourself if you're single is a mature acceptance of self. It's with that approach, and with that approach means very many lessons to gain that definition and to uphold it and to keep it, and that translates into also if you are not single. So at this point, I think it's clear that it doesn't matter whether or not you are connected in a form of closure or disclosure or non-commitment with someone, okay? It's like the state of relationship with building between anyone within yourself or with anyone or anything outside of yourself is still going to depend on who and what you are. Because any mistrust with who you are will shadow in the mistrust of any connection outside of you. I don't need to delve into all the different categories of how people could be second guessing a connection of either one to come or one that is. Ace of Cups. There's only one hand in the Ace of Cups. There's one person that can bring an answer to or engage a possibility of an outcome of, and that is a soul responsibility. Either it being a solo dolo type of perspective or a soul connection, SOUL, with self, or the one that you desire to have, or question whether or not the connection you do have is of soulmate material. First and foremost, the liking of anyone and any attention given to one another for more than any allotted time does mean that you are a mate of the soul. Whether that means that mating of the soul has the chemistry to uphold its connection, again, that's based on soul propriety, ownership of who you are. Pentacles, the sole proprietor of who and what it is that you are. You're your own CEO, you're your own co-founder, you're your own owner, you're your own soul, you're your own soulmate, you're your own spouse, your own best friend, enemy, family, all of that. It all is you. And what is based off of how much you give yourself to anything is based on the wellness of what you are. Ten of Swords. Being solo dolo, an owner of who you are, has its own fucking struggles, its own fucking issues and betrayal and vices and addictions and pain and self-trauma, victimization, predatorial ambitions, know-how and all-knowing, fight or flight, pros and cons, light or dark, God versus devil, like politics, left, right, up, down, matrix, inside, outside, like all the pain is self-imposing, self-perpetuating, self-inflicting. And if it's not that, self is enough to feel all. And that is difficult to point direction to. It's difficult to uphold accountability of pain and accolade and still point the finger at myself. Like I said, this journey is difficult enough. We have our own demons, we have our own secrets, where some of these secrets are secrets because they will bring us to nirvana, and then some secrets that are predisposed of having negative energy and then causes a nuanced sense of chaos within or externally, which would be, if it's not within, it would be without. And that literally means you're without something, and that without is meaning that it is in front of you because it's not within you. God damn. We have our own inner wolves to feed, our own cognitive dissonance to shake and trigger, and humbleness and humility and comedy and laughter to expose a form of flow within, that when it flows gives us a vibration that we can exist along with. That should be the ultimate goal. Yeah, Seven of Pentacles. That should be your ultimate form of fucking focus. Period. Solo dolo, 7 energy, prime energy. And then understand how doing that causes a nuclear bomb of I have so many words that I want to say with magnification, magnitude, magnificent, so magical. Like there's just too much, all right, that could happen if you understand how enriching, absolutely enriching, to have sole propriety of ownership and responsibility and accountability, responsibility, groundedness, survival, ego, pros, fucking cons, fears, gratitude, all that shit. To have a better understanding, no matter how difficult it is to show up for that shit, is the biggest reward you can give to yourself. And while understanding that battle is a slower battle to accepting all the things that are difficult, even if they are difficult to understand due to time, telling its story and the pain for however long it fucking wants to tell its story. And for that, we can more or less come to a lot of possible agreements here to say that time don't heal no fucking wounds. It's not time that heals the wounds. It's you that heals the wounds. Time don't heal the wounds, because you see the ticking of the clock and you see yourself be the same version before and after of it. So it's not time that heals anything. It's you. That was like a puppet. Imagine a puppet. You. You're your own ventriloquist. All right. Decisions. One step at a time, baby. One step at a time. I just heard somebody say, praise Jesus. I was like, don't trigger me, y'all. Don't trigger me. I will fire away with my naivete and having any type of religious conversations around here, because can't get much sole propriety ownership of self if you focus too much on trying to read scripture. Sick med energy coming through there. Hot and heavy. All right. See the binary coding, 0 1s 1 0 0 1s 1 0 is being activated. Ting 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 ting. Reverb, rewind, recalibrate. Oh shit. Emotional. It's just emotions. Hot and heavy that I need to know about. Y'all want to know a cheat code out of this? So many fucking questions. But would you even pay attention if all of them were answered? It would take away the mystery of experiencing your present moment. It's the name of the game, honey. Figure thyself out, and that's the biggest adventure there could be. Between these two major mystery arcanas here. Look how thin the Book of Discovery is compared to how fat the questions are. That is the cheat code. Simplicity, boo-boo. Simplicity. Taking it back to the basics. You, and more of you. Taking it back to the basics. All right, Tower. Let's see what's in between. Taking it back. Behind the Two of Cups is the Six of Swords with my fucking most hated card of the tarot deck, Seven of Swords. Because bam, boom, shakalaka, the mystery of how that is going to be discoverable to you is as fat as what's left, and already haven't told the story. Nice and thin, fat's what's left. Nice and thin, fat's what's left. You're interested about fat that's left instead of the shit that's already been given. I'm hearing, how about them apples? Oh, shit. Recently, I came across a quote that I have no idea whose words they may be. The plagiarism around the globe is ridiculous. Okay. Well, telepathy and telecommunications, we're all guilty of plagiarism. Ooh, shit. Queen Swords, Ace. We're all guilty. We're all fucking guilty. Yeah. But the quote was, never seek revenge because rotten fruit will fall off on its own. How about them apples? Sometimes I gotta remind my own ego to be like, you know what? Everybody else is doing it. I mean, fake it till you make it, like how Aries would say, yo, fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. No insults given to those Aries who are like, I would never. But the ego reminder where I was just about to be like, you know, if you like this reading, make sure to give me like a like or a subscribe, you know, help me out a bit, you know. But then my ego's also like, moving right along. Moving right along. Yep, the King of Swords. We speak when we know we need to. That's it. That's it. Reach your own truth. Reach your own conclusions. And by God, listen to the narrative within. Because boy, although it might be chaotic, take a look outside. Open your eyes. It's pretty fucking chaotic out there. Try to make sense of it all. Damn near fucking impossible. Damn near fucking impossible. So you know what? Wheel that shit back in. Chop some shit off. Deal with that. Fix that shit. Work on that shit. Deal with that shit. Amend to the truth in that. Compromise in that. Stand up for humility. Stand up for humbleness. Listen. Speak. Change your perspective if need be, if desired, or just flex on it. Pay attention to differences in other people's likeness, and then decide if that really is something that you truly not, because you listen to it, that you don't agree with it. Like, basic communication has been so destroyed. That's where it's never been something that's supposed to be easy to figure out. It is now like, I don't even know. We have the ability to? Like, that's just dangerous. Like, yeah. Not everyone has to tell you exactly how to operate in order to be. You can do it on your own. You can figure it out on your own. Oh, yeah, you can figure it out on your own. Look at that. With the king comes the queen. Zing bada bada. Zing bada bada. Feminine and masculine energies of non-gender specificity. I have no idea if I said that right. I'm very proud that that word came out. Yay! These two are making it clear that the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere fucking knows what the fuck's going on. Okay? Whether you understand everything about your left and your right hemisphere, that's up for you to explore. It's part of the name of the game. Emotions isn't water. Your feelings aren't water. Logic is in air. Truth, mind, third eye, blue, indigo, fed by blue throat. The way you communicate. There's a lot of fucking blue going on, but not everything has to be about fucking water. Water in life. Figure that shit out. Breath, breathe. Recalibrate that shit. Recalibrate that shit. Right? I'm hearing somebody say, but what about my questions? The audacity. Woo. Make sure you put your ego into this room and this vicinity in order to understand the reading, okay? Because this is a collective reading, and this is 7th energy. 7 pretty much says, I'm ego, I'm prime, all right? It's a funny joke, right? Why I was 6 afraid of 7. Why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. Mic drop. See how that simplicity is hilarious? Look at all the shit that we went through to explain the complexities, and at the end, smash it with like a silly joke. Oh, the humility. Oh, the humbleness. Oh, the motherfucking truth. To what? To get to honesty. And if you're asking about what about my questions, all right, write them down and then anticipate a fucking answer. Because that's going to require you to figure out the anticipation and participation together. It's going to require you to anticipate an answer. Damn it. At the same time, it's going to force you to get to the honesty. Let's talk about those apples. We're not literally going to talk about your honesty within this reading. So what shall we discuss? What else is there to disclose? I'm laughing because there's some things that I want to just blatantly say, and don't, before you start telling me like, come on, say it, like, are you a real reader for not saying it? Imagine the middle finger on that one. Because that's not what it is. It's about understanding what this is and also what it's not. That's my left hemisphere and my right hemisphere getting that shit together. Okay. Anyway, so I'm laughing because of that. Anyway, the Empress energy. So going back to cheat codes of what you very much desire. Well, unfortunately, it's not going to be revealing itself until you step into yourself. You gotta be a little bit more honest. You gotta be a bit more honest. all those feelings that just perpetuated possibly within this few seconds. Yeah, we still need more of that honesty. Whatever you're thinking, a bit more honest than that. Nearly there. It would be 5 minutes after you leave the reading. Then you are honest. Understand also that when you leave the reading, the reason why you will be honest with yourself is because you have tapped in to a collective insight, and it requires you to tap out to gain clarity and figuring out who the fuck you are. That allows yourself to tap in and tap out to things. You have personal interest or busy trying to figure out how other people think in order to validate your fucking existence. Stop asking those readers whether or not they'll disclose to you how this person will look like if that person is still a mystery to you. And if you're asking the question if you should remain married to the person that you're married to, well then you already have the proof in the pudding of the answer right there. You're proving with that question you may not want to. So, how about them apples? Don't be surprised if the reading is called How About Them Apples. I really wanted to go with soul ownership propriety. I can't even say it, so it's going to be How About Them Apples. Woo! Alright, Three of Pentacles. Alright, needing to step off the high horse for a little bit, you know? Reclaim what it means to step into the role of community. You know, understanding that healing isn't necessarily to be found in a community just because being communal is a healing thing to include in your life. Understand that more than one person acting together is a communal form of exchange, and two or more is a party, right? However, if you can understand that two or more people is a party, and more than two people is a party, or whatever the fuck the quote is tied to, that it's funny when we use the word party and it's like admissible to understand, oh, at a party I don't have to talk about my emotions and shit. But if you change that party to community, it's like, oh, is it a place that I can talk about my emotions and shit, and you'll give a shit and like all that jazz, and like you'll have like insight and stuff, and you're like meant to care and all that stuff, like, ooh, let me show up. Or if you place it with happy hour, you know, show up to that $5 discount and then forget to tip your waiter. Maybe that should be the name of the reading. Tip your server. Does that give you a little bit of disclosure of what I do? I tip my server. Oh shit. Understand that the fun part, you don't have to if you don't want to understand, but the fun part of being like high prime 7th energy here for the energies that I say I am is that, you know, I'm really keen of delivering an interesting and fantastical viewpoint of conversation of how narcissistic I am. I'm very problematic of a healer. But peek outside of this reading, whomever this reading is applied to, it's actually connected to Sekhmet energy. You know, that's the channel association. So fitting. Point of the pudding that I kind of forgot. What was it? What did you put me through? Stepping off your high horse. Okay. That the need to step off the high horse is the need to understand when you have a lot more questions than answers, there may be an integration that you're missing out of. Because you're saying that you want to have an integration, it might also imply that you are lacking being integrated of some kind. So that integration could be easily triggered by saying, you know, what it is that you could volunteer your time in doing. And volunteering your time doesn't have to be that you have to do something for free, because in the act of energy exchange, there's nothing done for free. Okay? Just the fact that there might be a currency value on something doesn't necessarily devalue what it is that is given of a no money bracket. All right? Let that be very much known. All right? Entertainment purposes only. I'm having too much fun with this. So, where we might live with the mind tricking ourselves is the way that our heart space is asking us to ask these questions, to maybe address them out loud, and to act upon those questions. But where the mind may ask itself some trickery replies or statements, are the moments where the mind may say, oh, maybe this is the way where we should go, you know, community. And because you then see a lot more people there, you might have the illusion that everyone has the same end goal. But if you didn't figure it out, and that person more or less is showing up, which means in one way or another they're admitting to having not something figured out, or on the adventure to having to say what they figured out. So wherever it is, there's fragility in having experienced something of likeness. So depending on the maturity of personal strength and aptitude of sustainable energy of self, is then the overall value of the health and sustainable energy of wellness of the community. To me, that's a big, well, duh. I'm not talking about a dime and a dozen, but I am as well also talking about the dime and a dozen. Make that make sense for itself, for yourself, on your own. So part of the way that you can give something back and volunteer your time is to wheel back the hands of time of the things that you can control, and equate them somehow in being able to manage themselves for you. That's already hard to do for some. Some are more privileged in the easier resources than others, right? However, because it's that fickle and being different and complex, it requires a very personal attribute and personal admittance to be able to bring change for the whole of everything else. Here's the song. Oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 oh no. Well, it's not really a song, but, or maybe it is. I don't know. But it is a song. It's part of a song. It's within a song. Ah! Chaos. Make it make sense. But you may have already understood, right? Chaos. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Oh, fucked up. Tower. And you go no and oh no. Oh no. Some of you are like, oh fuck. Oh, that's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Funny, not funny, I get it. Right, last round of messages here. Come on, tell me something bigger than that. Ugh. What I mean by that is like all the karma wants to come in and be like reason itself out. No. Oh no. Oh no. No, we haven't got time for that shit. Reach for the higher vibrational accolades and visions, all right? Make that vision board. It's not too late. Whatever calendar it says on whatever time it says, it's not too late. Make that fucking vision board. Get to work. Vision board. Vision board. Take the wipers. Someone better give me a like for all this shit. Like, come on. Silly. But you see what's happening here? You see that heart? Ooh. God damn, I had an actress in front of you. Just trying to lighten the mood here. Just trying to lighten the mood. Alright. 4 of Pentacles. So. Here, one more card. If some of you are like forced to accept something within this reading, that still means that it leaves an elephant in the room. Don't worry about the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room will be discussed. That will make sense for itself, okay? No one's saying the elephant in the room will not be discussed. It's just that it's not your point of concern to force the narrative at this time. Demon time, no? Let that shit prevail on its own. Like I said, how about them apples? No need to seek revenge before... No need to seek revenge for a rotten fruit. Rotten apples will fall on their own. We have Juno, relationships. Look at that. Gemini, curiosity. And we're leaving and ending with the moon, cycles. Take this in with your eyes, and potentially you'll feel the vibration of your third eye. Alright, collective. With that being said, I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of this time and space. And may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.